Welcome back to Friday Night Fever. We're sorry for those who are watching and lost us. Not really sure what happened there. I believe we were in the middle of introducing Delaney. She was breaking down all of her South Walton highlights and everything. She'll be back next week here on Friday Night Fever Afterburn. We're just going to get through the rest of those scores before we send off tonight. But we did just break down the Freeport and the South Walton games. Let us know in the comments where we broke up with you guys. We're not really sure when that happened. We just saw that,
we could have
all of a
just
sudden,
kept talking.
we're not live right now. We were still rolling. We were talking football. We were getting into the
We were in
nitty
the
gritty and the
zone.
X's and O's with South Walton. But we're back on. We're going to go ahead and finish off with the two highlights that we have left. That's Liberty County and Bozeman, both of those games that won tonight. Let's go ahead and get into that Liberty County game because I know you were hyped up about this
I
Matthew
was
Lawley.
I was hyped up about this Matthew Lawley, yes, and I hope his grandmother is still here because she was excited for him, and I am too. We'll see it in a second, but Matthew Lawley, I think, would probably get the player of the game, player of the week, whatever, because he was outstanding. I don't know how many touchdowns he ended up with tonight, but it was just like, if you can find Lawley, there he is with the ball right now. He's going to figure out how to get some points on the board. And that's exactly what he did. I know he at least scored 3, so maybe more, but please let me know if you know. But the Mahomes-esque comment.
Ended with the Mahomes-esque comment. Well,
JD Brown.
we can pull Delaney back on in a couple minutes. You
Yeah.
guys missed us introducing her, but let's get through this Liberty County
No,
game.
for sure. I think even though I have not seen Lawley play this season, for just me personally, I'm really excited to see him because I also feel like he's going to be a fun player to watch. I know in recent years, like there are certain players that stick out because of their personality on the field. And I genuinely feel like this is probably one of those guys that is going to have, there he is right there, and you know what? Just in time because his grandmother is back. And I was talking about Matthew Lawley, and he just had an outstanding game, and I'm actually excited for eventually I'll be able to come out to a Liberty County game and see them boys in play in person. But I do love that Gabe Prophet had that interception. I think that's what Vernon needs. Those little moments are going to make those big differences to keep them going. Their roster is so small, but the heart is there. I know it is. I've talked with them. I've talked with Coach Bugs, and I just think I know their success is coming. I can't tell you when, but I know it's coming soon. And I hope that this team just keeps fighting because there's a lot of
Right,
potential
Mr.
there,
John
so.
Brock, all those Liberty County faithful last week, they were like, hey, this is one game at Bluntstown. And I said, don't judge your season based on this game because that Bluntstown team is a once-in-a-generation talent. They are a Final
Literally.
Four caliber team with all those Division I athletes over there. You can't judge yourself versus that this season.
Yeah.
Liberty County with a big one this week. And, those Vernon Yellow Jackets playing for Coach Bugs, rallying behind them. He took over just a couple weeks before the season. So, they clearly got some youth in there. They clearly got some wrinkles to work out of their system. But just the fact that they're fielding the team this year, we're very, impressed. And I think there's going to be some big things coming from the Vernon Yellow Jackets in the future. But how about Liberty County?
Sorry, look at Matthew Lawley one more time. That was a pick 6. I'm assuming he's going all the way to the end zone there. But yes, just impressive. And I
5.
really am actually kind of a fan of their quarterback. His name is Wilder Har. That
Yeah.
is really cool.
I assume that's the younger brother to Scout Har, who was at Liberty County for the past few years. Big guy, played on the line. He was a weightlifter. So Wilder, he might be smaller, but he's definitely got that skill in him.
It's an
He's got
awesome
the dog
name.
in him. For
No,
sure.
yeah, he's got an arm for sure. So
Well, we got one more game to get to tonight. I hope there's still some Bozeman Bucks in here. Once again, we apologize for losing you guys. We're back on. We're going to talk about the Bozeman Bucks. Now 2-0 on the season under head coach Kevin Pettis.
that's what they needed.
He came over from Tallahassee. He joined Coach Jason Griffin in the Arnold Marlins last year as they had that drastic turnaround. We saw, obviously, they had a great defense. But let's talk about those Bozeman Bucks, shall we? They got a big win over the Leon Lions tonight. And the defense, that's what I saw was man, this Bozeman defense, they're flying all around. The special teams. It's funny because I went to fall camp a couple weeks back, and while I was at practice, all that they were working on was special teams and kick returns. And I'm like, man, I gotta get back to the station. I'd love to get some snaps and throwing the ball, running the ball. But all they're working on is special teams, and clearly it's paying off because they start with a great punt, fielding around the 1. They get a safety, and then check out this run where he's gonna field it way deep in his own territory and then take it nearly all the way to the other side, deep into the red zone, and then the Bucks score from there. But Bozeman picking up a 21-19 victory over, I believe, Leon is Class 5A. They're pretty big. They're up there like Mosley.
I was saying
a big
that too.
School over in Tallahassee. So
yeah,
definitely a big win for the Bozeman Bucks tonight. They got a tough, gritted out victory over Holmes County last week. So clearly they know how to win the tight games as well. So it's one thing when you can win big. It's another thing when you can win those close one possession games. So
that's a good way to put it.
It was Tanner Jones at Port St. Joe. I was talking to him about Holmes County this week, and he's like, it's really hard to judge how good Holmes County was because they were playing a Kevin Pettis coached team in Bozeman. And he's like, when Kevin Pettis is in the equation at Bozeman, or at Arnold last year, it's kind of hard to gauge because he's always going to have those guys playing phenomenal defense. And, they hold them to 19 points tonight. They get the win. They're 2-0. And that district, let me tell you, that district is so interesting because you got a district with Bozeman, Rutherford, Mariana, and North Bay Haven, right? A district with Bozeman, Rutherford, North Bay Haven, Bozeman, Rutherford, North Bay Haven, Mariana. And last year is all Mariana. It's Mariana 10-0. They were dominating everybody. They had Amari Clemens. And this year, I'm like, man, it's wide open. Mariana's, they're taking a couple steps back. Rutherford lost a couple good seniors. They felt like this could be their year. It still could be. They had the week off. They faced Mosley last week. And then Bozeman 2-0. So right now, Bozeman is the only 2-0 team in that district. They're excited. They got the momentum, and they haven't played anybody within their district yet. So you got to love it. Hayden Gay, following after his brother Peyton. Right. They got a lot of good things going up in Bozeman. I know you talked to them during 7-on-7s a few weeks back, a month back, and they said, hey, we like what we got up here.
Oh, no, for sure. I think I've said this before. Coach Pettis came in and said, this is how we're going to do it. And these boys go, yes, sir. Like that, they know that this man knows what he's doing. And clearly with that 2-0 record right now. But yes, I was talking to some of the players, and they just said that they always felt like they had those pieces just kind of more sporadic throughout the team, but now that they know how to use them, especially with Coach Pettis just really saying like I said, this is how we do things here. They've turned a new page, and I really am excited for what's to come with this. Bozeman has always had these key players, just like I said, around the field, but now that they know how to use them, and the special teams, you saying how much they're practicing on that, I don't think teams spend enough time on that. Like, if you think about it tonight, like the Holmes County, even though I wasn't there, that's a special teams moment that makes or breaks a game. You need to have special teams as well. And, I mean, I don't know if that specific moment played a role in tonight's game, but it's just like you said, it's one thing to win big, and it's another thing to keep a two-score game. So,
yeah, but how about those Bucks? They are 2-0. There's only 2 unbeaten teams in Bay County right now: the Bay Tornadoes and the Bozeman Bucks. So we'll see. I think they play. I'll have to go back and look at the schedule to see if Bay and Bozeman play this season. Before we go, let's go ahead and run back through the scores again, talk about some of the rest of those games. If we can go to the second sheet of the scores. Arnold with a bounce-back win over Providence Christian tonight. Cottondale, I saw the love for Sean and Mon down there. The Collins brothers doing big things in Cottondale.
Always.
You got Trey Mon already committed to the University of Florida. He was the first 2027 player.
He's a junior.
2027 player for the Florida Gators committed. He's doing big things. And a lot of guys are like, man, Sean could be even better. So big things coming for those Cottondale Hornets. They got a big win tonight. Let's go ahead and move to the next sheet. Chipley, a big win tonight. I saw Coach Buchanan's wife down in the comments earlier showing her love for those Chipley Tigers. Senior night for them. They got a big win over
Linden.
North Florida Christian
Oh.
last week, and then Linden this week. So now they're 2-0. They're playing some teams from outside the area. So we'll see what that happens when they start matching up with our schools around here. Franklin County coach John Cooper, they're 2-0, 1-0 last season for 2 years in a row. I think that was like the first time ever since they've been Franklin County that they've started the year with a win twice. Weewa getting a tough loss over in the Big Bend against Brantford, and then Sneads falling 41-14 over Seminole County. Before we go, let's bring Delaney back on one more time because I believe we lost her she was telling a little bit about herself right before she lost. So again, this is Delaney Vega from California. Let's do this all over again. We were talking a little bit with Delaney while we weren't on air. So again, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to college, and your excitement for sports.
Yeah, so I am from Los Angeles County. I grew up there obviously my whole life. Then I moved over to Fort Worth, Texas, went to school at Texas Christian University where I studied journalism. Got to be all around sports, which was awesome. I worked a lot with the football team over there. But I grew up playing volleyball, fun fact. So I played that for 10 years, played indoor for high school, indoor for club, and beach volleyball for high school as well. So all year long I was playing volleyball. I was just kind of everywhere during that. But I'm really excited to be here. I think Bay County is a great place to start at, and there's a lot of great teams over here, and I'm excited to be traveling some more.
I mean, yeah, you've kind of been in just different places, like not really set to one location. And do you have like a area you're like, oh, I kind of like the stadium or the environment that you've seen so far?
I mean, I think Tommy Oliver, obviously, it's right over here, great stadium, but I will have to say I'm really excited to keep watching Liberty County. I think they're going to do great things this year. I saw them play Blountstown, wasn't obviously a great game to start with, but you saw them turn it around this week, and so I'm thinking that they're going to carry that energy, and I'm looking forward to seeing them the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think so too.
Well, you guys are going to get to know Delaney very well. She's going to be on here with Carly for the remainder of this high school football season, so if you see her around, definitely say hey to
Hello.
Delaney. So thanks for hopping on here, Delaney. We have gone through all of the scores tonight, so that just leaves one thing, a sign-off for not just week 2 of the high school football season, but also a sign-off from me, Sam Granville, in my 5th season of high school football, covering Panhandle sports. I have been on here for the last 4 years, and my absolute favorite thing that I've done is Friday Night Fever Afterburn. Afterburn has been my favorite part of this job for the last 4.5 years, starting with Courtney Mims, then moving to Kaylee Tinglestad on here, and then Carly for this past year or last year, and then also into this season. So we've had a lot of people come through here and do great things at the station, but this will be my last time here on Friday Night Fever Afterburn, my last time in the studio. So it's been a lot of fun with you guys, Coach Cooper, all of you guys down there. I really do appreciate all the support that we've had over the years. You know, we have our regulars in here that have always been here, our fans up in Walton, you know, Coach Olds at Rutherford. We have people that have joined and watched the show every single week, have been live commenting. It's something that they don't miss, and it's been a lot of fun. For me, I've been going to state championship volleyball games and football and basketball games. I've traveled all around the state covering the Panhandle sports, and I will truly, truly miss it. But this is home for me. I will be back. So if you see me around here, don't be surprised. It is me. I am from around here. I will return home to the Panhandle and continue following these high school sports for the rest of my life. And who knows, maybe we'll find ourselves covering high school sports back here in the Panhandle in the future. For those of you who missed last week, I'll be heading up to Knoxville, Tennessee. Me and my wife will be moving up there as I join the WATE News 6 team as the sports director there in Knoxville, covering the Tennessee Volunteers. It's definitely a big life step, an opportunity that I could not pass up. So I once again want to thank everybody for the continued support over the years. It's been a lot of fun, and I will miss every single one of you. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good night.